Welcome back to my channel. I am back with another Baddies Africa review, so let's just get right into it because a lot happened in this episode. So this episode of Baddies Africa picks up where the last one left off, where the baddies were at a club appearance and Diamond was performing her song, okay? And Diamond's song is a fight song, so Lex was getting hyped up because right before they came to the club, she fought Scotty and Tavy, so she's drunk and she's hyped up on the microphone and she's singing Diamond's song, but she's singing it aggressively, so it seems like she's kind of coming at the other girls on the microphone when she's singing the song because she's facing in their direction. Now, I thought that she was aiming what she was saying at Tavy and Scotty because that's who she fought right before they came to the club. But for some reason, Fania ended up taking it personally and she snatched the microphone out of Lex's hand. Now, I do think that Lex was doing a bit too much at the club on the microphone, but I felt like Fania shouldn't have gave Lex a reaction because if you feel like she was trying to provoke people, then you gave her exactly what she was looking for at that point. So I just felt like Fania shouldn't have done that. And then on top of that, it's like she's one of the people who got mad when Dolly snatched the microphone out of K. Rican's hand at the club. So why would you do the same thing to somebody else that you didn't want them doing to you and your friends? So I thought that was kind of weird. But like I said, I do think that Lex was doing a bit too much on the microphone. Now they're going back and forth with each other, but security won't let Lex and Fania fight each other. So Lex ends up getting off the stage and she's on the floor and Fania's still on the stage and the two of them are going back and forth with each other. And Fania ends up taking this small fan and she tosses it at Lex. And Summer sees this, so Summer takes a drink and she throws it in Fania's face. And Fania is like really upset about this drink in her face, and I understand she's upset because she got a drink thrown in her face, but girl, you just took a fan and threw it at somebody, so you started things getting physical. Like, she caused things to get physical at the club because she was the one snatching things and throwing things at people first. So Natalie ends up putting Summer in the car with her so that they can ride back to the house because she says that she didn't want to put Summer on the Sprinter with the other girls because she felt like there was going to end up being a fight because obviously things were getting pretty heated inside the club. But while Summer and Natalie were on this ride back to the house, Natalie ended up going live and Summer was in the live with her. Now look, I remember this live stream because I watched it from beginning to end because I remember I was sitting on my couch, I was doing some stuff on my computer and watching TV, and I got the alert on my phone that Natalie was live, so I clicked on it and I saw that it was her and Summer. Summer was really drunk and Summer was talking about some of the girls on the show, and Natalie kept muting her. Like, every time Summer would say something about one of the other girls, Natalie would mute it, and she would mute it for long periods of time to the point where some of the people in the comment section were getting annoyed at the fact that the live kept getting muted. Honestly, I'm one of the people that were getting annoyed at the muting of the live, so I remember keeping the live on but putting my phone on the side of me instead of holding it in my hand waiting for them to unmute the live. Now, I will say Natalie wasn't really saying anything during this live stream. It was really just Summer, and she kept muting the girl, and she was telling her to stop saying certain things, but Summer's gonna do what she wants to do. I will say that Natalie could have diffused the whole situation by, you know, cutting the live off completely as soon as Summer started talking about the other girls, but I just feel like people got mad at her for no reason because she really didn't say that much in the live. The one thing that she did say, because Summer provoked it, Summer said that, you know, Anna and Diamond and some of the other girls think that they can be Natalie, and they were going off on Natalie on social media saying that they would be the new CEO of the show, but none of them could ever be Natalie. And Natalie ended up jumping in and saying that none of them could ever be her. That's really what she said. So this is what all the girls are riled up about in this episode. So the next day, some of the girls, I think it was Rolley, Ivory, Tavy, I think Marissa was there, and then Diamond was there too, and Diamond started complaining about this live, saying that Natalie was on the live stream talking about her, and she feels like Natalie is being fake with her because one minute Natalie is acting cool with her and then the next minute she's on a live stream with Summer talking bad about her. And look, a lot of people are not gonna like what I have to say. I already know this because a lot of the fans like Diamond, but I'm kind of getting annoyed with Diamond when it comes to this beef with Natalie. I really think that it's a one-sided beef. I think she's trying to keep it alive because she always talks about Natalie. She's in the comment sections talking about Natalie. She's on interviews talking about Natalie. She's on social media making posts about Natalie. She's in her confessionals talking about Natalie. It's like she just wants the fans to like her because she's talking bad about Natalie, and a lot of the fans don't like Natalie. That's how I feel. And I'm not just talking about Diamond. I think it's stupid for any of these girls to come on this show and beef with Natalie. At the end of the day, it's Natalie's show. If you don't like her, stop coming on her show. Go to a different show. I don't understand why they try to beef with her when it's her show. Like, at the end of the day, the beef with Natalie's not going to go anywhere because she's not going anywhere. I don't think that Diamond really has an issue with Natalie at all. I just think that she knows that the fans don't like Natalie, so that's the reason why she tries to keep a beef alive with her. Let's be honest, everything that they say bad about Natalie, we already knew back in 2009 when Natalie did Bad Girls Club. I mean, these girls go on these interviews and they say these things about Natalie as if we didn't know some of these things already. They say that Natalie talks behind people's backs. We already knew that on the Bad Girls Club, and she wasn't shy about saying that she did it. And then they say that, you know, she cheats on her husband. We already knew that she cheated on her husband's or her boyfriend's back then because she was doing it on the damn show. Like, we know how Natalie is. Natalie cares about her money. That's all she cares about. So nothing they say about her is anything new. All I'm saying is, and I know this is an unpopular opinion, but if Diamond's storyline is going to be Natalie, please don't bring her back next season, because I'm really over this beef between the two of them. It's really old and I'm tired of it. There's literally no point in beefing with the person whose show you're on. Like, stop coming on the goddamn show then if you don't like Natalie. And you don't even have to like Natalie to be on her show and work with her, and that's the stupid part. Everybody on this show acts like everybody has to be the best of friends with each other. No, you come on the show and you make your money and you go home. That's it. But what's up with Diamond making comments about Lex this season? Because I thought Diamond and Lex didn't have any issues with each other, but during this conversation, Diamond ended up mentioning that she doesn't understand why Lex has a problem with Scotty, and I was kind of confused because Tavy tried to say that it's probably because Scotty is tall and pretty, but I think that's stupid, and that doesn't really make any sense because they're both tall and pretty, so I didn't really think that that's the reason why Lex doesn't like her. I feel like Lex originally didn't have an issue with Scotty, but when Scotty and Anna jumped Summer, and she did jump in that fight, because when Anna and Summer were in each other's faces going back and forth and Anna and Summer started fighting with each other, Scotty jumped in and she started swinging on Summer while she was already fighting Anna. Scotty had ample opportunity to fight Summer before Anna even came over there, and she didn't take it. She waited until Summer and Anna were already fighting, and that's why Lex ran over there and she got involved in it. When they were in Hawaii last season and they did that final dinner where everybody was fighting, the only reason why Lex called out Scotty was because Scotty kept fighting Summer, and Summer was already fighting multiple different people at that dinner. Like, she fought a lot of people at that dinner, and so, you know, Summer fought too many times, and Lex was like, okay, stop fighting my friend and fight me, which is technically the same thing that Ivory did when it came to Diamond and Choco. Choco kept fighting Diamond, so Ivory said, come on and fight me then, stop fighting my friend. That's what Lex did with Summer when it came to Scotty, but Scotty did not want to fight Lex, so when they got to the reunion and Lex wanted to fight Scotty, security would not allow them to fight, and that's the reason why in the first episode of this season, Lex ended up sneaking Scotty because she knew that security would never let her get her hands on her, and that's why she snuck her. Do I agree with sneaking her? No, but when you know that security's not going to let you fight somebody, then you're going to sneak them because that's the only way you're going to get to put your hands on them. Somebody came in my comment section and was arguing me down last week about this situation between Scotty and Lex, and this person feels like Lex is the one that keeps starting with Scotty, but from what I see, anytime Lex gets into it with one of the other girls on the show, Scotty always has something to say, and it's like, if you don't want to fight Lex, just be quiet when it comes to her, because you know when she presses you, everybody's going to call her a bully because you're not a fighter. So I thought that was weird that Diamond and Tavy were trying to figure out why Lex has a problem with Scotty, and Tavy was trying to make it seem like it was jealousy. I really don't think that it was jealousy. We know why the two of them started fighting in the first place. We already literally know why. This beef stems from last season and it came into this season. But I will say, I like Scotty and Lex. I think they're both cool. I think they're both pretty. I just feel like they should get along with each other, and I think for the most part they do, until they start bickering back and forth with each other, and that's when the fights start between the two of them. But other than that, I wish they would be cool with each other. But fans have to stop pretending like they want all these girls to be friends, because you know damn well you don't want all these girls to be friends, because the show would not be entertaining if everybody got along with each other all the time. I'm just saying. Now, the other girls were also having a conversation about what happened the previous night. It was Dolly, Summer, Lex, Russian Cream, Choco, and Elsie. And basically, they were asking Elsie why she decided to step up to Rolley. And she said that even though she knew she would lose a fight to Rolley, she still wasn't scared to step up. And she said that she feels like a lot of other girls are afraid to step to Rolley. And I completely agree with her on that. I do think that a lot of the girls are scared to step to Rolley. And that's why Rolley gets a lot of passes when she's talking to people crazy, because they don't want to have to fight her. So I do respect the fact that Elsie got up and she stepped to Rolley. However, I don't like that Elsie doesn't swing and she doesn't fight back. I think it's pointless to fight somebody like Elsie because she's going to stand there and not defend herself. And that's why I really didn't like that Rolley hit her, because I knew that she wasn't going to defend herself. But Natalie ends up setting up a horse riding activity. So everybody gets into two separate sprinters to go to ride the horses. And on one sprinter, Diamond is going off about how she's going to confront Natalie about the things that she was saying talking on the live with Summer. And K Rican starts running her mouth about Natalie, saying how Natalie doesn't like her, Fana, and Cold Killer because they're not kissing her ass and being chingons. And I thought it was weird that K Rican was talking bad about Natalie because this is her first season. She really doesn't know Natalie. And I guess she thinks because, you know, Diamond has talked bad about Natalie and she's been brought back on the show multiple times, that means that it's okay for her to do it. But Diamond has the fans behind her, and that's the reason why she keeps being brought back. Natalie will bring back people that'll make her some money, and that's the only reason why Diamond ends up coming back on the show, even when she disrespects Natalie. But K Rican doesn't really have any fans behind her, so she probably won't be back next season running her mouth the way that she's doing. And Natalie didn't even say anything about K Rican, Fana, or Cold Killer in that live, and I was watching that live like I was in that live while it was happening, and she didn't say anything about them. And anytime that, you know, Summer did mention some of the other girls' names, she definitely muted the live. Like I said before, she should have turned the live off as soon as Summer started talking about people, but you can't hold Natalie accountable for something that came out of Summer's mouth. Hold Summer accountable for what she said about you. That's weird to me that they're mad at Natalie for something that came out of Summer's mouth. Now, when they finally get to the horse riding activity, Ivory tells everybody that she is going home because she has something going on in her family, so she can't stay. And we know now that she wasn't being truthful, or allegedly she wasn't being truthful about why she went home. Really, she just wanted to go home because apparently her girlfriend ended up exposing that she lied about the reason why she left. I really don't think that Ivory needed an excuse to leave. I think if she wanted to go home, she should have just went home. I don't think that she needed to make an excuse. I think they would have let her leave, especially because she also has a child. I think all she had to say was that she missed her kid and she wanted to go home, and I think they would have been fine with her leaving. So I don't really think that she needed an excuse, but also I don't know her contract, so I don't know if you have to have a reason to leave. But Ivory and Dolly start going back and forth with each other because obviously Ivory wants to fight Dolly before she leaves, but Dolly won't fight her because her hand is swollen and wrapped up. And Dolly starts defending herself, saying that she's not afraid of Ivory, that she fought Ivory multiple times. Even last season at the reunion, she fought Ivory. And Dolly says that she feels like the girls that are standing behind Ivory trying to be her friends are really the ones that are afraid of her, because she said that Fana was talking bad about Ivory before she came on the show, and now that she's on the show, she's trying to be Ivory's friend. And Ivory tried to say that she doesn't feel like any of the girls that she's cool with this season are afraid of her, but I think that she's just trying to be nice, because I think Ivory knows damn well those girls are scared of her and they will not step to her, because when she bopped Fana in the back of her head at the beginning of this season, Fana did absolutely nothing to her. When she snatched up Tavy and she had her in a headlock multiple times while she was in the middle of a fight, Tavy didn't do anything to her, so I definitely think those girls are afraid of Ivory. I'm not really a fan of Dolly, but I don't think that she's afraid of Ivory. I do think that she needs both hands to fight somebody like Ivory. Ivory is a fighter. She likes to fight, and she's bigger than Dolly, so I definitely do think she needs two hands to fight Ivory. I also don't think that it's necessary for her to fight Ivory again, or at least not until the reunion, because at the end of the day, she already went multiple rounds with Ivory. Ivory just likes to keep fighting people when she feels like she didn't get the best of them, and that's the reason why she wants to fight Dolly again. I mean, we're definitely gonna see them run it at the reunion. That's definitely gonna happen, and hopefully Ivory is Dolly's first fight at the reunion, because if she hurts her hand fighting any of these other girls, she won't fight Ivory, and then people are gonna keep saying that she's afraid. Now, after they do the horseback riding, Natalie is sitting down with Fana, Scotty, and Rolley, and Fana is sitting there pissed off and mad, and she's partly mad at Natalie. She's blaming Natalie for everything, okay? Not only did she tell Natalie that she has an issue with her going live with Summer while Summer was talking about her, and she didn't tell Summer to stop, which she did. She muted the microphone, which she should have turned the live off. Like I said before, she should have turned the live off as soon as Summer started talking about people. But why are you going at Natalie for something that came out of Summer's mouth? And then Fana kind of had me scratching my head, because she was blaming Natalie for why she got into it with Summer and Lex at the club. She said Natalie should have never given Lex the microphone, but Natalie did not know that Lex was going to get on the microphone and start popping it on the microphone to Diamond's song. She didn't know that. Fana started saying that, you know, she was the one that had to snatch the microphone out of Lex's hand, and she felt like that was Natalie's job to do it. It's not Natalie's job to snatch any microphones out of anybody's hands. Fana did not have to react to anything that Lex was saying on that microphone. She was singing Diamond's song, but she was singing it aggressively. But why are you taking it personally when you're not even one of the people that she fought that day? I would have understood if it was Tavy or Scotty who got mad at Lex for what she was saying on the microphone, because they would have had a reason to think she was talking about them. But Fana getting mad and snatching microphones and throwing fans at people, how's she gonna be mad at Natalie for something that she started at the club? Like, girl, you started throwing things and now you're mad because Summer threw a drink in your face. Then Diamond comes over there and she gets involved, and she starts saying that that Natalie was talking about her on live, and Natalie starts saying that she didn't talk about Diamond, so Diamond ends up pulling up the end of the live stream where Summer was saying that Diamond and Anna were trying to be Natalie and they can never be Natalie, and that's when Natalie said at the end of the live that none of them hoes could ever be her. So that's when Rolley gets involved, and she tells Natalie that she was wrong for doing that on the live stream because she's supposed to be neutral because she's the CEO. Now, I do agree that Natalie is supposed to be neutral, but is she supposed to be neutral with girls who don't like her and drag her on social media all the time? Is she supposed to be neutral with those girls? Because if we're going to say Natalie was wrong, then Diamond's wrong for continuously talking about Natalie all the time too. Diamond is always posting about Natalie. And Diamond keeps mentioning that her and Natalie made up at the beginning of the season, but when they made up, Diamond wasn't even falling for it, and she literally said that she didn't feel like her and Natalie were really cool and that she doesn't like Natalie, and she was still talking about Natalie throughout the season. So I'm not even trying to defend Natalie, but I just feel like these girls are reaching a little bit. I don't think that they should be trying to hold Natalie accountable for something that came out of Summer's mouth. Natalie didn't even really say anything on that live. Yes, she should have turned it off. She shouldn't have went live with Summer anyway because she knows how Summer's mouth is, but these girls' issue is supposed to be with Summer, who was the one that was making the comments in the first place. And Diamond and Fauna were telling Natalie that she needs to do her job and be the CEO, and it seems like the only time they want her to do her job and be the CEO and take control of things is when it's against the girls that they don't like, because when they're out of control and they're yelling and screaming and they're doing the most, they're not going to listen to Natalie and anything that she has to say. But what they want her to do is take control of Dolly, Summer, and Lex. That's what they want her to do. They want her to be a CEO and a boss when it comes to those girls, not when it comes to them. They want her to step in and defend them and stop things when things are happening to them, but allow everything to happen when it comes to Dolly, Summer, and Lex. And that's what it seems like to me. And for the people saying that, you know, Rolley should be the CEO because she does a better job than Natalie, I'm confused by that, because to me, Rolley sits back and does absolutely nothing. She barely says anything. She's kind of boring, and the only time she steps in is when she wants to pop it to somebody who can't really defend themselves against her, and she's slapping these girls in the face, and you think she can be a CEO? Like, no, I just don't agree with it. Now all of a sudden everybody likes Rolley because Rolley has a problem with Natalie. That's weird. And then Summer comes over there and she starts telling them that they shouldn't be mad at Natalie because she was the one making the comments and not Natalie. And while she was talking, Fauna gets up and she socks Summer in the face, okay? She sneaks Summer because Summer didn't see her coming at all. And then that's where the episode cut. I know I have some unpopular opinions in this review, but I just have to say what I really think. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Baddies Africa. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.